Breaking news from the South China Sea, one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints. A Chinese warship fired military-grade flares directly at a Philippine patrol aircraft over waters recognized as the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Philippine military sources call it a deliberate act of aggression. The skies over the West Philippine Sea became a theater of intimidation. Suddenly, a Chinese destroyer launched burning flares into the plane's flight path. This marks a significant escalation. Targeting an aircraft with flares is a new level of threat. The Philippine government condemned the action as a violation of international law and a direct threat to its air crew. The world is watching to see what happens next. What happened today was more than a headline. It was a moment when fragile peace was nearly shattered by fire in the sky. The South China Sea is now on edge. Let's break down those critical moments. The Philippine patrol aircraft was on routine surveillance when a Chinese destroyer below made no attempt to communicate, no radio warnings, no intercept procedures. Suddenly, a blinding flare shot up, not as a signal, but as a weapon. The pilots had only seconds to react, banking hard to evade the first flare, then another, and another. This was no accident. Repeated firings showed clear intent to force the Philippine plane out. Experts agree. This violated all norms for safe military conduct at sea and in the air. Beijing claims indisputable sovereignty over nearly the entire South China Sea, despite a 2016 tribunal ruling against it. This incident is a fiery expression of a policy that puts ambition above law and safety. The stakes are not just regional, they're global. The next move matters. Beyond geopolitics, this is about people, the brave men and women risking their lives daily. The pilots of that Philippine aircraft were not just symbols, they were fathers, sons, and professionals who faced a life-threatening situation. Their quick thinking and expert airmanship turned a routine patrol into a narrowly averted disaster. Inside the cockpit, a blinding flash, urgent callouts, a sharp bank to evade the threat. Training took over as they flew, assessed, communicated, and documented, all under extreme pressure. This is the human reality of South China Sea tensions, not abstract but a real-time life-and-death struggle. Had a flare hit, the result could have been catastrophic: an explosion, a crash, and a potential international crisis. The political fallout could have triggered the Philippines-US Mutual Defense Treaty, escalating the conflict. These pilots fly on a razor's edge, defending their nation's rights against a much larger power. They are often outmatched in equipment, but not in courage or professionalism. The South China Sea is defended by real people, far from home, facing danger for their country. Their safety and lives are on the line every mission. We must not forget the human cost behind every headline. The stakes are personal, and the risks are immense. These are the faces of national resolve. Why flares? It's psychological warfare. A flare is dramatic, frightening, and undeniable. A message meant for pilots and the world. It's intimidation, designed to make the Philippines hesitate in patrolling its own waters. This is part of China's broader strategy. Make it too risky and costly for others to operate in the South China Sea. Tactics like these create a constant state of anxiety, wearing down morale and political will. But the threat isn't just physical. China is also using electronic warfare. Sophisticated jamming and spoofing can disrupt navigation, communication, and even flight controls. Pilots now face both visible and invisible dangers, forced to question their instruments in critical moments. This combination of harassment creates an incredibly stressful environment. China is weaponizing the entire operational space, physical and electronic, to achieve its goals. The psychological impact is profound, aiming to erode confidence and resolve. Every mission is a test of nerves and skill. The war of nerves is as real as any battle. This is classic gray zone warfare, aggressive actions that stop just short of open conflict. China uses its Coast Guard, Maritime militia, and Navy to harass and intimidate, changing facts on the water slice by slice. Each small act, an island built, a patrol blocked, a flare fired, adds up to a major shift over time. The goal: establish de facto control without triggering war. These tactics work because they create ambiguity, making decisive responses difficult. The world risks waking up to a new status quo, with the South China Sea transformed into a Chinese lake. But gray zone tactics are dangerous. They can spiral out of control with a single miscalculation. The flare incident is a perfect example, a deliberate gamble that could have ended in catastrophe. China is betting others will avoid escalation, but the risk of conflict grows daily. Winning without war is the strategy, but the danger of real war is ever present. The stakes are high, and the margin for error is razor thin. The world must recognize the risks before it's too late. The response was swift. Key allies condemned China's actions. The US reaffirmed its mutual defense commitments, warning Beijing that the Philippines does not stand alone. Australia, Japan, and the UK also condemned the provocation, calling for adherence to international law. This chorus of condemnation sends a clear message. The world is watching, and aggression won't go unchallenged. Words are backed by action. Joint military exercises have increased, demonstrating collective resolve. When allied ships and aircraft operate together, it's a signal of solidarity and deterrence. The alliance is not just on paper, it's a living partnership shaping the regional balance of power. China's strategy of isolating neighbors is being countered by a growing coalition. The flare incident has strengthened alliances, not weakened them. It's a wake-up call, galvanizing support for the Philippines. Collective security is now at the forefront. The region is uniting against coercion. The stakes have never been clearer. The Philippines is fighting back with a smart, three-pronged strategy. First, radical transparency. Incidents are documented and publicized, rallying support at home and abroad. Journalists are embedded and high-quality evidence is released almost in real time. Second, military modernization. The Philippines is shifting from internal security to external defense, acquiring new ships, jets, and surveillance systems. The goal is a credible minimum defense, enough to make aggression costly. Third, stronger alliances. The US alliance is revitalized with expanded access and joint exercises. Partnerships with Japan, Australia, and others create a network of deterrence. These pillars, transparency, modernization, partnerships, work together to counter China's tactics. Transparency exposes aggression, modernization raises the stakes, and alliances ensure the Philippines is not alone. It's a strategy born of necessity and determination. The Philippines is standing its ground, peacefully, but firmly. The world is taking notice. The balance of power is shifting. This isn't just a regional dispute. The South China Sea is a global artery. 1/3 of world trade passes through these waters. Any conflict would disrupt supply chains and economies worldwide, but it's also about the rule of law. Should disputes be settled by legal frameworks or brute force? In 2016, an international tribunal invalidated China's expansive claims, affirming the Philippines' rights. China rejected the ruling, challenging the foundation of the international order. If powerful nations ignore legal rulings, might makes right prevails, a dangerous precedent for the world. Defending the Philippines' rights is about defending the principle that all nations are bound by the same rules. Freedom of navigation and overflight are pillars of the global system. China's actions threaten these freedoms, attempting to create a no-go zone. Allowing this to go unchallenged would embolden further aggression and erode global norms. What happens here matters to everyone who values a world governed by laws, not power. The stakes are global, not just regional. The world cannot afford to look away. The flare incident is a wake-up call. Peace in the region is fragile and under threat. China's gray zone tactics are growing bolder. The world must respond with clarity and unity. Condemnation must be sustained and backed by coordinated action, joint patrols, intelligence sharing, and reaffirmed security commitments. The goal is deterrence, not provocation, showing that aggression will carry real costs. Support for the Philippines and regional states must be tangible. More training, equipment, and resources. A stronger, more resilient Philippines is the best frontline defense. The strategy is to empower nations to defend their sovereignty, creating a network of resilience. This isn't about militarizing the region, but restoring a stable balance of power. Dialogue must remain open, but based on respect for law. The ultimate goal, a peaceful, stable South China Sea where all can prosper. Vigilance is essential. Shine a light on aggression, support those on the front lines, and stand together for a free and open order. The safety of pilots and sailors depends on it. So does the future of global peace and security.